The last round. It was a hot Friday evening in the Deep South, in a sleepy town called Sandrock, Alabama. A town that hadn't changed much since the 1960s, except now the signs didn't say whites only, but everyone knew what was what. The locals stuck to their own, and outsiders were rarely welcomed, especially if they didn't look the part. At the edge of town sat a small, dimly lit bar called the Copper Still. It wasn't a fancy place. No fancy drinks, no neon signs, just worn-out bar stools, tobacco-stained walls, and the smell of stale beer and old secrets. The regulars were already there. Old ranchers, mechanics, off-duty cops, and the bartender, Earl, who ran the place since '89 and had a reputation for being set in his ways. Conversations buzzed low and thick, mostly about gas prices, football, and politics. Then the door opened. The whole bar turned quiet, like someone had hit mute on the world. A tall black man stepped inside. He was built solid, probably mid-30s, dark-skinned, clean-shaven, wearing a simple black button-up shirt tucked into dark jeans with polished boots. He looked like someone who worked out, and someone who didn't care what people thought. He didn't say a word, just walked up to the bar. Earl squinted. "Can I help you?" "Yeah," the man said calmly. "Whiskey. Neat." The glass was poured slow. All eyes were on him. Some folks were frowning. One guy, a wiry man named Rick, who always had something smart to say, leaned into Earl and muttered, "Ain't seen him around before. What's he doing here?" The man sipped his drink without flinching. His eyes scanned the room once, slow and deliberate. No fear in them. "You lost?" another man asked, louder now. This was Tyler, local tow truck driver with a Confederate flag tattoo and a grudge against the world. The man turned to him, slow like a cowboy in a standoff. "No," he said, "just off work. Thought I'd get a drink." "You work around here?" Tyler asked, raising an eyebrow. "Where?" The man smiled just barely. "At the base." There was a collective pause. A few people exchanged glances. "What do you do at the base?" Earl asked, his tone more suspicious than curious. The man took another sip, then set his glass down gently. His voice was even and steady. "I fly jets." The silence was deafening. "You mean, like, you're a mechanic or something?" Rick tried, clearly not believing it. The man turned to him, fully now, and said, "I'm a major in the United States Air Force. I fly F-22 Raptors. I've done 3 tours overseas, earned 2 distinguished flying crosses, and I landed a burr on one engine in the middle of a sandstorm with a busted wing. And just last month, I taught your base commander how to simulate combat turns under G-force. So no, I'm not a mechanic." He paused. "But I respect the hell out of them." You could hear the bar breathe out. Nobody knew what to say. Even Earl was quiet, the glass in his hand frozen mid-polish. Tyler muttered something under his breath and walked back to his seat. Rick looked down at his beer like it might have answers. One old man in the corner, Hank, a Vietnam vet who never said much, raised his glass in a silent toast. The major nodded back. Earl finally broke the silence. "Next one's on the house, Major." The major gave a single nod and sipped his drink. A few people started talking again, slowly at first, like music coming back after a power outage. The tension didn't vanish, but it changed. Became curiosity, respect, or at least something closer to humility. Later that night, when the major stood to leave, he turned to Early. "Name's Major David Cole," he said. "Might be back sometime." Earl looked him in the eye. "You're welcome anytime." Major tipped an invisible hat and walked out into the southern night, leaving behind a bar full of men who wouldn't forget the night they froze. Not because of fear, but because their idea of who a man could be shattered in the quietest way. Moral: don't judge a man by the color of his skin, or by the first impression he gives. Sometimes the person you least expect has done the most for the freedom you enjoy. And sometimes it takes just one man to walk into a room and change it forever.